projection, 'cause it's time to wake people up. Right here, right now.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Horry Sheet Show's Flat Earth Digest Episode 6. This one is a bi-weekly episode because I've been really busy moving house and getting into a new routine. I'll be covering a whole lot of stuff, so grab a snack and kick up your feet or something. Here it goes. First up's a video from Paul on the plane titled 3,456 Miles and No Curve. Globe Debunked Once and For All. Research Flat Earth. Paul flew more than 3,400 miles and detected no curvature on his phone's Level app. He calibrated it for level at the airport, took his trip, and when he turned his phone back on, it was still centered in the same spot, proving that it did not go over any curvature at all. And many have been doing this lately because it's really a globe killer. You need to tell people about this. There's absolutely no way around this flat earth proof. Go read up on it. Go look at all the other experiments lately done with phones and their levels. A good video I mentioned last week was done by Tesla's Apple, where they went as far as removing certain mechanisms of the phone to make sure it was not like auto-calibrating in any way to ruin the experiments that were being done. And it was basically shown that smartphones do not use true gravity sensors, but instead they're programmed to know which way is up and which way is down by the factory. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Tesla's Apple's video or the videos on Globebuster's channel to understand all of this in a bit more depth. Suffice to say, this is a proof almost anyone can do, and all it takes is your phone. Now, talk about a constructive news article here. The PhillyVoice.com mentioned the flat earth without all the dissing. The article mentioned the billboard that went up in Philadelphia and its costs, and also quoted several things that Tim Osmond or IPS must have said. I'm pretty sure he's the guy they were talking about in this article. If not, someone correct me, but for example, in one part of the article you see this quote: "They're hiding land and resources. The elite write our history, and they've all colluded to hide land from the masses for years." The article by Brian Hickey can be found in the source links below. All right, let's talk IPS, okay? This dude is going ham on flat earth. And one of the things that I heard this week is that IPS is aiming to spread the flat earth truth to the marijuana community by creating his own strand of weed. I mean, this should be interesting. I really don't care how the flat earth gets out. I'm all for it. Jeran called IPS this week, and he talked about, you know, the latest flat earth news and where everything was going, and they kind of talked about some of the drama surrounding everything too. It was a conversation that I think lasted about 3 hours long. A link to that video is going to be down below. Make sure you check it out. Oh, and remember chat rating? Well, IPS is now helping spread the flat earth by urging people to call into radio talk shows and talking about flat earth. Authentic Intent, remember, he was the guy that's been doing a lot of street activism for flat earth lately. Well, he was one of the callers to get through, but it sounds like they cut him off before he was able to say flat earth on the air. Apparently, the radio show figured out that flat earthers were filling up their phone lines. Lots is going on in IPS's corner, and I mean, I can really make a whole weekly show on what this guy is doing and think tanking. Check out his stuff. I was listening one night and I laughed so hard when he gave me, to date, the Horry Sheet Show's best compliment. Listen to what he said.
Yeah. Oh, Horry Sheet Show. Oh, by the way, Horry Sheet Show, I can't wait to watch your next episode. I'm afraid to. There's been a lot of cringy activity this week, but, you know, see, I don't watch like Entertainment Tonight, or I don't read the tabloids, but I'll watch Horry Sheet Show. That's still relevant to my interest. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. His channel, it's good. It's good because there's so much about flat earth that is just so damn entertaining when you look at it from a certain perspective. You know, he's like, the Horry Sheet Show is like Stephen Colbert. If Stephen Colbert was funny and not a sellout whore for the New World Order.
The show with Jeran and IPS, as well as the radio show video, will all be down in the links below. Next up, talk about catapulting flat earth straight into the mass consciousness. The Daily Plane has just put up a GoFundMe page to launch a daredevil by the name of Mad Mike into a rocket that will go up 1 mile with 5,000 pounds of thrust at a rate of 500 miles per hour. Mad Mike will be inside the rocket. I mean, he's already notified the FFA. He has international media attending this event. The BBC is going to be there and everything, I think. Also, it's going to say Research Flat Earth on the side of the rocket. So amazing publicity here, and this will happen in the first week of August. And check this out. After that, he's getting into a rocket and attaching that to a balloon. And once the balloon is about 130,000 feet in the air, he's going to launch off of that thing from that rocket, and he's probably going to go about 62 miles up to the Kármán line. IPS is helping to sponsor this because they want to see flat Earth on the side of this rocket. And Mad Mike found IPS from the billboard, so I mean, great stuff. The GoFundMe page is down below. I'm not sure it's fully funded yet, but I know it received $1,000 of the $8,000 requested in just one day alone. This is happening, people. For a more in-depth video pertaining to Mad Mike and his previous accomplishments, check out Carly Sunshine's channel. She did a wonderful video highlighting this in a bit more depth, and she's just awesome. Go check her out. Oh yeah, and Infinite Plane Society is offering some cool rewards to some of the donors on the GoFundMe page for that rocket. He was making a live stream where he was showing himself painting these. Check them out. Links are down below. Now, I do want to mention this about Mad Mike Hughes and the rocket thing. I wish him the best of luck, but as usual, there is a part of the flat Earth community that does remain a bit skeptical. And I mean, I don't want to really go into it much here and bring out the pessimism, but I think that we should have our own film crew there with PX900s filming this event ourselves. We have enough people on standby maybe that will pick apart the actual rocket's video to make sure it's legit, but I don't think anyone has mentioned filming it with their own cameras. Again, I wish Mad Mike the best of luck. He's a flat Earth rocket engineer, so more power to the man. We're all pulling for your discovery and your success. Next up, Katy Perry, of all people, mentioned flat Earth in a live stream due to some flat earthers in her chat room. And get this, 12 hours later, Neil deGrasse Tyson shows up next to her to talk about his Star Talk show. He begins talking about how there are people that like science, and people that don't know they like science, and people who are pretty sure they don't like science. And then they start talking about how those people, they're scared of the unknown, like people who are scared of ghosts or something. I mean, anyway, why is he showing up next to her door less than a day later for some impromptu interview like this? By the way, her YouTube channel picture is a frickin' Illuminati eyeball. I rest my case. Source links are down below. Moving on. This week, Jeran did another great video on the Jeranism channel, and, well, we all know Polaris, or the North Star, right? It's the star that doesn't move in the night sky. In fact, all the other stars go around Polaris in a circle. Well, this has been observed time and time again through time-lapse photography. So, Jeran decided to see if it's even possible on a globe model by taping a laser to a spinning globe and pointing it at a fixed mark on the ceiling to resemble Polaris. And, well, he shows you that if you're spinning on a ball Earth, the laser pointed at Polaris would be off target as soon as the Earth spins. Wait, what? Well, hold up. Turns out this experiment by Jeran was debunked by Wolfie6020. It seems that there was a problem with how Jeran had things set up. Well, I believe he's going to try this one again, so I'll cover the updated one next time around. The link to Jeran's video about Wolfie's correction is down below. Now, here's someone that I'd like to point out to you. She goes by the YouTube name Sassy Undeniably, and she's doing her own thing when it comes to hosting live streams and think tanking to really bring together the community. On her live stream this week, she discussed several things, including all the flat Earth activism that's being done on the streets, and she talked about how people can spread the flat Earth. She collected some stories about how people found out for themselves that the Earth was flat. She both gave and received some advice on how to deal with quote-unquote globe heads. She also discussed vortexes at the poles and even celebrities to see if anyone really thinks whether they know what's up or not. Also, she was discussing a plan for the so-called aftermath of what we're all going to do after everyone starts to realize the Earth is flat. And then a guest known as Food, Shelter, and Clothing, or also Logic, joined the show for a bit to speak on everything. You might know him. Anyway, I like the fact that one of the focuses was on like unindoctrinating our children, and even a curriculum for like K through 12, and to see if people can get together to implement something like that instead of re-indoctrinating our kids. All great stuff. Check out her channel and give it a shot. Source links will be down below. Next on the list is this video by Jeran with Archer Sage. They show how NASA is faking images of the Earth by turning up all the levels and exposure and stuff in Photoshop, and they're talking about how the Earth and the Moon are pasted in these photos, okay? They looked at photos from NASA from when they were heading to the Moon, and can you believe that they didn't get any pictures of the Moon while they were heading to it until they were basically right up on the thing? Yeah, that doesn't sound right. I mean, I'd be snapping pictures left and right, selfies here and there, several moon selfies, but no, these astronauts didn't do anything of the sort. It's safe to say that there are hundreds of red flags when it comes to the moon landing photos and the videos and the stories and everything else surrounding NASA and the world space agencies. They're all fooling us with pictures of rocks here on Earth shaded and tinted to look like they're from other planets. I mean, this isn't hard to do with some photo software, folks. Don't be fooled. Check out Jeran and Archer Sage's video to see just how many discrepancies they found in that 3-hour-long video. It's like one after another, and almost every one of them will make anyone think twice about believing NASA or the validity of the space videos and photos. The source link is down below. Great show, guys. And it looks like things are pretty much heating up when it comes to Flat Earth in Math Powerland's corner. He triggered a bunch of people at his latest comedy stand-up routine. It looked like things were going pretty bad enough at first, with virtually no reaction from the crowd upon, telling several of his opening jokes. And then things progressed until he was assisted off the stage while being yelled at by hecklers in the audience.
It's getting a little hot in here. Do you mind if I take off the shirt? All right with that? Okay. Just want to relax. Take a little break. What's that?
It wasn't that the stand-up was bad, but with absolutely zero audience participation, it was going to be a train wreck anyway, is my guess. For the full video, check out the link below. Matt, better luck next time. Oh, and check this out. I came across Stevie2112 Rush's channel, and he highlighted a nice song by Thomas Dolby titled The Flat Earth. It seems to have been posted as far back as 2008. Have a listen. For the full song, check out Thomas Dolby's page below for more of his music. It's pretty cool stuff. Alright guys, been doing some more digging, and I want to talk about this channel that I found. The channel is called World History Official Channel, and from what I can tell, English is probably not his primary language, but he makes pretty good informative videos that go into quite a bit of detail on several different topics within the Flat Earth. And one of the most recent videos, Shocking Proof, All Engineers and Architects Methods Prove Flat Earth, he basically discusses a lot of the same stuff I've heard from watching hours of podcasts about Flat Earth. I've not fully vetted the channel yet, but I mean, at first glance, seems like proper Flat Earth information. I just don't have the patience to listen to the robot voice for very long, but you be the judge. Check out World History Official Channel via the link below. Next up, DITRH is funding a billboard, and this one's going to be really cool. I really like the video that he's wanting to lead everyone to with it. And basically, some info may have changed by now, but when I last checked, the targeted goal would be to buy a billboard on the I-95 corridor for 2 months, although he's not sold on that spot 100%. It's just a good option. Commuters would see it every day on their daily commute, which is really going to cause it to stick subliminally in people's minds for sure. And DITRH said he may choose a different location and actually be able to purchase a billboard for like 3 to 4 months, but that really depends on how much is raised and ultimately what's decided on. And it's great that it will be advertising ODD's video because, well, it's important to get someone that's Googling about Flat Earth for the first time to Google the right search term. I mean, if they Google Flat Earth or something similar, they're going to land on controlled opposition websites and videos. Searching on YouTube for A Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth lands them in a heap of excellent learning videos for new and experienced Flat Earth researchers. I know that the research he's doing as far as where it should go is pretty extensive, and I trust that he's going to pick a really nice spot. So go throw him some dollars and get one of the best Flat Earth content creators' billboards up. Seriously, show the man some love and support. He's been doing an incredible service for Flat Earth and, for years now. And before I move on, let me mention that DITRH also did another great podcast this week with a show called Alien Theorists Theorizing. And I want to say it was episode 42, if I'm not mistaken, of their show. This was one of those podcasts that went really well. It just got a little bit heated at one part, but both sides were super cool with each other, and DITRH kept the flat earth facts coming the whole time. You really need to check out his stuff because, the man knows what he's talking about. It would be a good idea to just start jotting down notes when you're listening to him because he seems to put things in a very cut and dry manner that just makes sense. The podcast lasted about an hour long. Here's a brief snippet, and the links to DITRH's Billboard GoFundMe, as well as this podcast, will be down below.
Pole, you're going south. East and west are not straight lines. East and west are circles around the center point. Ship's captains that are going dead reckoning east or dead reckoning west, every half hour or so, depending on how fast they're going, they always have to correct to the north to keep their heading of 270 degrees or 90 degrees because they're going in a circle. And the funny thing is, that's true on a globe Earth or a flat Earth. When you're in the northern hemisphere, you can't go in a straight line and head east or west.
Next on the list, Devin Maggi joined Globebusters this week, and some of the topics discussed included esoteric energies and the model of our Earth that our ancestors believed. They also talked about things like the black sun and the center of Earth. They even talked about blood over intent, Shambhala, archons, demons. They also talked about esoteric or occult knowledge, the giant trees that we all may call mountains now, the soul-catching net, the false light, all kinds of stuff. You don't want to miss this one. They certainly covered a lot of ground as they discussed some of the alternate beliefs regarding our earthly realm and human existence. Check it out. The links will be down below. Okay, now something was brought to my attention this week, and I should probably address it because I do agree. I'd like everyone to just take a deep breath right now and really think about this for a second. As the Flat Earth movement catches on, I'm starting to see a lot of people participating in Flat Earth discussions on various forums and groups on the web, but I'm also seeing way too much name calling. If you can simply find it in yourself to ignore them or block those people who are just not willing to let go of the false globe model, rather than go out on an all-out tirade and call them every name in the book, just do it. Try to ignore them. All right? All they're doing is they're paid trolls. Their whole purpose is to trap you into some debate or out in the open so as to cause an argument, and it really puts a bad light on Flat Earth. It really does. It's like littering in the name of Flat Earth. So I urge you, hit the block button and move on. Don't feed those trolls. Plant as many seeds as you can, but try not to get caught up in the name calling, and don't get stuck trying to convince any one person of the flat earth for too long. If they aren't ready to wake up and they can't see through the lies, just move on. Next up, I've got a really cool video to share. Joshua over at JM Truth TV's YouTube channel released a video this week titled JM Truth versus NASA's Photo and Video Fakery, Exposing NASA's Lies, Full Documentary. In this documentary, he exposes the photo and video fakery and lies of NASA. He breaks down the video and photorealistic imagery used to lie to us and analyzes it to figure out if it's real or fake. And he comes at everything from a filmmaker or producer point of view. And yes, he's got the credentials to back him when it comes to being able to speak on image fakery and the flaws in the NASA videos. And I've got to say, I do my own bit of video and photo editing, and I've watched this, and I agree with pretty much everything he said. Also, having a very lengthy gaming background, I can without a doubt tell when I am seeing computer-generated imagery. I've watched all of this evolve since Atari.
Oh, look at there. Oh my gosh. Okay, so folks, wow, talk about shoddy. This image should not be like this. Let me explain. These are all individual dots that were added to this photo. I assume to give the impression of stars, even though we don't see them. But this here is an indication of a cutout line right here. Now you'll notice That's an oddly shaped planet. Or moon, I guess I should say. Where's all this part of the planet or moon? If this was indeed real, the camera should actually still pick up the whole circle. There's nothing here, folks. Nothing. Which means this is a composite image. Now, NASA does admit they do composite images. However, you would think, even for a composite image, that you would have something here. Because if I take a picture in the dark, the camera's still going to pick up the line of the moon. But there's nothing here in this image. Nothing.
Thanks for this one, Joshua. A great video and an accurate breakdown of the ingredients that are used to make up NASA's garbage sauce. Now, talk about a great podcast here. Karen Pettit did a hangout on the 25th with 5 amazing speakers, including Mark Sargent, Santos Benassi, allegedly Dave, Darren Nesbitt, and Oliver Ludlow. I haven't had a chance to watch this one yet, but I can't wait. Actually, I'm going to watch it right after I finish making this episode. The link is going to be down below, though. And good news, Tulsa, Oklahoma receives its first Flat Earth billboard. Thanks goes out to Marissa Keelan for her contribution to the Flat Earth community. This is a video of it here. I found this video on Paul on the Plains channel, by the way. You see, this is what I'm talking about when I say spread the truth. This is really awesome stuff. Keep it up, y'all. Marissa's Facebook group is called Flat Earth Club, so check it out. The links to this video and her group will be down below in the video description. Now, the next thing on my list has got to be one of the... Holy shit! What is... Oh, it's flapping. It looks like the Fepes have found the real Tim Osmond trolling a recent Flat Earth meetup. It seems that he was caught hanging in the corner all by himself, live streaming the event and sounding like a psychopathic narcissist. The video documenting this was dropped on the Infinite Plane YouTube channel this week. Check it out if you want to see Tim Osmond get approached by 3 Flat Earthers that wanted to let him know his cover was indeed blown. Guys, Flat Earth is being talked about on all kinds of podcasts and radio shows these days, from, the more mainstream ones like Howard Stern and The Breakfast Club to small stream ones like The Woody Show. I've never heard of this one before, but these guys seem pretty receptive to the call. Have a listen.
Let's see, Patrick in Whittier. Hold on one second. Let's go to Patrick on line number 3. Hey, good morning,
Hey,
Patrick.
Patrick.
How you doing, man? I'm a big fan. You know.
You know.
Number one in the 562. Y'all
You know. All right. So what?
I just want to give you one shout out real quick. My flat Earth theory is.
Oh, here we go. Flat Earther.
Yes.
I'm a flat Earth theorist.
All right.
And Antarctica, we found the barium. In space, man raced to the moon and all this other stuff. Martians, all that takes effect, full effect. Everything, chemtrails, all that, it's all tied together.
Patrick buys it all.
Together.
No
way.
I
am. I've done research for the last 6 months by myself, and acknowledging the fact that the biggest lie ever told is not Satan proving that he didn't exist.
Links to this quick call will be down below. Here's a quick one from Kyle McDonald, and he's at it once again with his Flat Earth signs. He made a nice short video here showing just how he makes them and how creative you can be when placing them. For example, hear him explain why this one here is hanging up next to some boxes on the street corner.
A little bit of that, and it's on a busy street here. You can see lots of cars driving by. They're all gonna see it. That's the idea. Put up these signs in a public place where lots of people drive by.
Great stuff, man. Keep it going, and the links to the original video is going to be down below. Another great video this week comes by way of Rob Skiba. He put up a video titled Rob Skiba, Rick Hummer, and Victor Brewer Plan to Bust Mythbusters, and he showed a lot of PX900 footage and explained his reasoning for why things seem to disappear over the horizon or supposed curvature of Earth. He highlighted several of his older videos that give some great explanations for this. There was a particularly interesting part of this video where he showed some footage of a ferry, and a guy was explaining what was being shown. Have a listen and take a look at this footage, okay? But while you watch this, ask yourself if you really believe science's reasoning for this. The mainstream reason we're seeing these boats reappear is because the camera or binoculars or telescope is actually seeing over the curve, light bending and all of that stuff. I don't buy that, and neither should you. Anyway, check this video out.
You see all the waves and all the detail in the water,
and then there's this hard line. And you can see the waves, but it's a hard line right there. And when the ships got to that line, they didn't start disappearing hull first or at all. They just started flying off into space. That's what it looks like. Yeah. They went right past that hard line. I'm going this way. So going right past the hard line, and then it literally looks like, because it's a hard line, and then beyond that, it's just kind of like the same color as the sky. Yeah. Which at that time was the color, orangish sunset. They start floating up into the sky, but you can tell they're still on water because you can see the reflection of the ship on the water.
Later on in the video, he goes on to show the Mythbusters video because, well, that video that you just saw is just part one of a series that Rob will be posting regarding their plans to bust the Mythbusters' claim of seeing Earth's curvature at just 70,000 feet from a jet. So keep up the good work, Rob. I love it. I came across another video on William Guzman's channel, titled Flat Earth Truth Number 33, The Glass Firmament is an Electric Motor. In this video, he explains how rotary motors work with magnets and electromagnetism, and he ties it into the firmament. It's interesting to hear how all of this may go together, and I urge you to watch this channel and see what you think. There are plenty of videos on William's channel, and it will take me quite a while to go through all of them, but I have a feeling I'll be showing several of them on my highlight video coming up sometime in the future. The link to this video, though, is going to be down below. Check it out. Okay, guys, I was really digging hard to come up with a new channel, and I found this one called NASA Clown Show. I just randomly clicked on this video and, came across this channel. I wasn't sure if I was going to watch the whole thing, but then I noticed this little nugget. If this rocket launch from 2015 is really the same rocket launch that's supposedly going up a year later, then we need to double check this. Look how the only thing that seems to be different is the color of the sky and the brightness of the rocket. That's just simple color grading, people. A flick of a switch in the video editor if you have a certain plugin. Look at the angle of the rocket. It looks like the camera guy was in the perfect spot to get the angle right a second time a year later. Has anyone come across this before? Fishy, fishy. Check it out, guys. The link to that video and that channel is going to be down below. And an update came through the pipeline from Dan West. He helps me keep up with the really good groups on Facebook that are worth subbing up to. And he'd like everybody to know that the CLOFEGI group, or Consolidated Leaders of Flat Earth Groups International, is now going to be called the IFEL, or International Flat Earth Leadership Group. This one's also known as the Round Table. It remains a secret group, and Anderson Nevis is now the acting chair. The sister group is IFEA, or International Flat Earth Alliance, also known as the Community. It's for all flat earthers worldwide to be one unified voice for activism. This one's a closed group, with Ryan Cataldi being the group's founder. Last up, just in the nick of time, comes Globebusters episode this Sunday titled Flat Earth Debunking NASA CGI Season Finale. Bob starts the show with a much-needed rant surrounding some of the recent issues pertaining to the Flat Earth community. His points, as well as Jared's and even David's, were all points that I can totally agree with. To make a long story short, this community would be a lot better off working together rather than playing the shill game. Now, Bob mentioned something really cool that I'd like to get a few more eyes on. Take a look at this flight from Zurich to San Pablo and listen to Bob's quick explanation of what's going on.
How is it possible that we could possibly be getting this particular view of the sky without it changing absolutely dramatically? When in fact, on a flat Earth map, this is exactly what we would expect to see, because we know that everything is level from Zurich all the way to South America. So I just wanted to point this out to people and for them to actually take a look at it. I think Jeran did a great job on it. He also modeled what it should look like if it was on a globe, and obviously the constellations would be completely different. So assuming that the time-lapse that he was taking this from is legit, right? And this is actually the flight path, and everything's on the level here. Excuse the pun. Then we've got a problem with this video. We got a big problem with it in that we are not seeing anywhere near the change in star constellations that we absolutely should be.
Leave your comments down below and tell me what you think about that. Archer Sage, another fellow flat earther and content producer on YouTube, joined up with Globebusters this week as they talked about all the fakery going on within NASA and the space agencies of the world. Now, listen up, all right? I'm a little bit past the maybe intermediate level when it comes to adjusting or even creating pictures on my computer. And I want you to take a look at this picture that Archer Sage showed on Globebusters. Now, the way he explains this, you just can't run from. NASA is totally going back over their old pictures and trying to cover up all the sloppy copy and paste jobs. They're lying to us, okay? As of right now, both versions of these pictures are still on the website. So go see for yourself. Wakey and listen to this.
So going on paste job, you can see where the Earth's been pasted in, the Moon's been pasted in too, right? For those of you who haven't seen this. But NASA also uploaded another version where, if you can see over here where the question mark is, there's a mountain or a hill, which was over here. This is the same picture that they completely removed. And not only that, but they've also removed the box and the fake lunar surface, a good majority of it that was on this version.
That's crazy. They took out the whole mountain on the left side.
Now, you think that was good stuff? Well, I couldn't stop there. This show was great. Listen to this part where Archer Sage shows how the size of the moon and Earth is simply out of whack when you consider how they were taking pictures of each while going back and forth from Earth to the moon during the Apollo missions. And try to wrap your head around this, okay? Ask yourself, how is the Earth getting smaller as you're traveling towards it compared to the shot of Earth while you're actually on the moon? The size difference is laughable. And then Victor joins the show and they talk about how they plan to do a balloon launch live stream this Wednesday. So check out the Explosive Truths YouTube channel for that. And I urge everyone to go watch the rest of that Globebuster show. The link is going to be down at the bottom.
Slight perspective problem there, methinks.
This is in order. This is in correct order. So we just had this, Earthrise, which means we're headed towards the Earth. We're going back home. We're going this way, towards this. And we haven't switched lenses. You don't see any switch of the lens or any shot that was done to clear the frame and start a new lens. You don't see that because they're still using the same lens. That's impossible. So basically what should be happening here is just like, here's the barn. If I walk closer to this barn and use the same lens, the barn's going to get bigger. But not on Apollo.
No, it shrinks to half its size.
Now look, so here's what's funny. So here's the moon size. Very next photos, here's the Earth. That's where we're headed, right? And then they look back at the moon, and look how small the moon is. And the Earth, what's going on here? So how can you be this far away from the Earth and also this far away from the moon?
And have them be so totally out of perspective and size.
So small.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it isn't because it wasn't because this picture, like the barn, was done with a lens like this, and then they switched to another lens that could zoom in further and took that shot. No, this is all with the same lens. This doesn't make any sense at all.
And another thing that I want to mention briefly are the Colorado Flat Earth meetups. To find out more about them, just get on the mailing list. Shoot a message to nadaspaceagency@gmail.com. And if that person gave me a typo, you may want to send a message to nasaspaceagency@gmail.com instead. I copied and pasted it. But anyway, I hope you make it to the right list. Good luck. All right, everyone, we're nearing the end of my show here, and let me just tell you, I literally had to make myself close down all the research tabs I still had open in my browser. There's a lot going on in the Flat Earth. I mean, the billboards, the chat parties, the radio show calls, the street interviews, the manned rocket launch, the Flat Earth on CBS, Flat Earth on news articles like the Philly Voice, Flat Earth coming from celebrities, reality shows like Big Brother. I mean, are you kidding me, people? Flat Earth is growing. Let me share a little story of mine with you real quick. So I ordered a pizza this week from a website, and it asked me for my name. So without a second thought, I put Earth as the first name, is flat for the last name. And, I thought the pizza guy might read it and maybe ignore it. But anyway, the website also asked me for special driver's instructions. So, for instance, if I wanted him to go in my backyard or knock on a side door, I could have written those instructions there. But instead of doing that, I actually went to a website called tinyurl.com and put Mark Sargent's Flat Earth Clues Director's Cut video in there and gave it a custom link name. So basically, if you go to www.tinyurl.com/pizzaearth right now, it's going to take you to that video by Mark on YouTube. Anyway, I wrote that link down in the special instructions box on the site. Again, just thinking it would get ignored, but you know, I'm all about spreading the flat earth truth. So I just was doing my part. Anyway, I did my part all right. I had a typo in the address box, and I catch the pizza guy driving up to the neighbor's house directly in front of mine and across the street. So I had to yell out to him, and I was like, hey, it would be a serious coincidence, you know, if my neighbor's got a pizza that probably should be at my door right about now. And the guy looked at me funny, and I couldn't blame him. I mean, I came out dressed an absolute mess. I come out wearing socks and flip-flops, shorts that look like they got put through a meat grinder, a fuzzy lime green set of meteor poi around my neck, and I hadn't shaved in over a week. But to make things worse, my shirt was my girlfriend's, and it read, "I want to cuddle you so hard." Clearly, he was in a position to validate whether or not the pizza truly belonged to me, and rightfully so. After all, I looked like I was squatting in that house. I mean, no car in the driveway or anything. But then the guy yells out and he pulls out his ticket. "What's the name on the ticket?" Which I had to yell for everybody in my neighborhood. Earth is flat from across the street and everything. So then he comes walking over and he goes, "Interesting name you got there." And I look him in the eye and I say, "You know, it's true, right?" And the pizza guy says, "Well, my friend mentioned flat earth to me once." So I asked if his friend was also a flat earther, and he responded, yes. And he asked me, "So what about the bottom of the flat earth? What's under it?" And without missing a beat, I grab the pizza box. I flip it open to show him how to circumnavigate the flat earth using my deep dish pizza and the crust acting as Antarctica, a sauce container in the middle for magnetic north or Mount Meru, and another sauce container as a impromptu compass. And I'm going around the thing to show him how you would go circumnavigate the earth. I mean, it was perfect. And to top it all off, I looked up above and had the perfect opportunity to point at a chemtrail going over us. I simply ended that with, "You see that cloud? It's coming from that plane. It's not a real cloud." And he's like, yeah, it's chemtrails, huh? And I mean, his jaw was just hanging. He's like, he didn't know what to do. If you've done something like this or something similar, like if you want to highlight it here on the Horry Sheet Show, send it to me. I love this kind of stuff. Well, that's it for Flat Earth. If you want to hear what else I'm doing, well, I've got some more cool stuff coming up on my channel. Just keep watching, including a completely free video course on how to work for yourself from home. I want you to have more free time, whether you want it or not. We're not made to be slaving at jobs that we hate. We're all better than that. We're supposed to be following our passion, and I'll be trying to help people figure out just how to do that for a living instead. So if you can't stand your job, or you work too much, or you're ready to start working towards your own dreams instead of working towards someone else's, then look for the link down below. I've got a free-to-join private Facebook group named Fiverr Tips and Work From Home Advice. And I'm doing something I haven't seen anybody actually do before. What I'm doing is building an online business from scratch. Or wait, let me back it up. I first killed a successful business and I'm rebuilding it from scratch and video documenting the whole process. So if you want to see how it's done every step of the way, then screw your job and watch my stuff. I'm here to wake people up. Who's with me?
Was a patch of trees. Then again I only recalled that the woods were real. I stay? Standing up meant throwing up, so I stayed prone. A never-endless nausea until the trip to my new home. I remember the trail we used to walk before the betrayal. We'd come out of the woods into an unborn neighborhood. We'd go inside unfinished homes and have a peek. And then you finished with our home and became 2 days of Maui. That flight path led to a Medford bed where the pillow hosted her tears and her tired head. You'll understand why